What's up, gamers, and welcome to another episode of the Shackcast. I want to title this episode 78, but I was actually a guest on a podcast recently. If you know my friend Andrew Alliance, I was recently on an episode of the show Radio Live. Definitely check out the show Radio. I will have links in the description to this episode if you want to listen to it. But I said, hey, let me record it on my end so I can put our conversation out there and maybe it reaches more people and allows us to promote both of our channels. So I'm going to make sure to have links to Andrew Alliance's content as well. I'm pretty sure if you're a member of the channel here, you might be familiar with him. But yeah, we talk about a lot of interesting things in this conversation, and I thought it was so important to share all that with you. But please make sure you support his content because this, at the end of the day, is sort of a clip from his podcast where I was a guest. So I would much appreciate you supporting him. Make sure you like, share the video, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to his channel, and we'll catch you later. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy episode 78 of the Shackcast, a conversation with Andrew Alliance, where we talk about a number of things from Halo, Arc Raiders, Call of Duty Black Ops 7, the Steam Machine, and more. So, enjoy.
Yeah, so what's up, Aaron Shack 64? What's going on, man?
Dude, we're just hanging out, man. Keeping up on the YouTube grind, playing video games, talking tech and gaming, all that. It's good
of course,
good
man.
to see you. Good to talk to you as well. Yeah.
Good to see you. Good to talk to you. It's been a while. It's been about 8+ months, give or take. I was, underground cooking stuff, and now we're back in front of the microphone one more time, man. I just love it. But I wanted to welcome you, of course. Thanks for coming on, hanging out with me for a little bit.
Yeah, anytime.
And
man.
The other thing too is I had some PC issues recently, bro. Like I wanted to tell you about that before we talk about Arc Raiders and some of the other things that we got. But so recently, so this whole time, I'll set up this way. This whole time, I thought I had a higher PSU in my machine. I thought I had a higher number, like 800,000 or whatever it is out right now, right?
Okay.
So I started having these issues because my brother let me have his 3070 Ti, right?
Uh-huh.
So I was coming from the 3060. So I was like, okay, cool. This is going to be great. I'm going to have a new GPU and a machine. So excited about all that. And then I started having issues, and then it started crashing on me and all this stuff. And I'm like, I'm wondering what's going on. So I go to this tech store that we have in New York. I don't want to locate myself, but close enough to it, right? And it's a big store. And I go there and I talk to the guys. And I'm like, these are the issues that I'm currently having in my machine. What do you think it is? And he goes, well, do you know what your power supply is? I said, at least 750. He said, well, if it's at least 750, you shouldn't have these issues. So go back, see what you have, and then, let me know, and then we'll go from there. Bro, I go back home. I open up the machine. I have a 500 watts supply.
Oh, no. You did an upgrade.
The machine, bro. 500, bro. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy's gonna laugh at me.
Yeah.
So I take it out, right? I take the power supply unit out, and then I go back to the store, and I said, I didn't even realize it was that low. So he gave me 750, to look at, the specs. I said, yeah, I'll take it. So I got that, went back to the house. And I thought that was the end of it, right?
Yeah.
But that was not the end of it, because I still had to have the machine reset the BIOS to read all the new stuff, because I moved so many different components around, bro. So the machine was coming on, but the HDMI was not being recognized by the TV. The TV was not coming on, but the machine would come on. So I'm like, what is going on? So I call my brother, who's in Florida. So I'm calling him every 5 minutes. I'm like, dude, I think I did everything right. I took the PSU right. I put all the lines exactly where they're supposed to go. I don't have any red codes on the motherboard, that little red light that comes on. I don't have any of those. I said, so what could it be? He said, take out that little battery, wait 30 seconds, put it back in. Bro, after that, everything's good, bro.
That's yeah, I've done that before too. It's the dumbest fix for everything.
Bro, after that, everything is good. So then I started getting a little bit more creative. Then some of my fans weren't working and then I ended up getting like a fan hub, right? So you do the plug to the motherboard, and then it gives you like 8 ports for fans, and then I plug that in, which is connected to the power of the SATA on the PSU. Bro, all my fans are on. The machine is running good. I did the automatic GPU tuning for NVIDIA.
Okay.
I'm in a good place right now. My machine is in a good place right now. So, what's up with you, man? Any PC stories, bro? Give
Man,
us
we
one, man.
we love it. We love to see it, man. I don't know. I think my processor, the i7 8700K, it's starting to feel a little dated, and I'm seeing my CPU like maxing out at 100%, like all the time.
Mm,
Like
yeah.
sometimes it'll just be on load screens, or sometimes just idling, or certain games will definitely bring it to that level. Whereas, I got the 3080 Ti from Nvidia. I did that upgrade. Gosh, maybe it's already been a year since I did that. And some games work better than others, and that's been kind of a consistent problem I'm facing. And in order to upgrade the CPU, I can't put like an i9 or anything fancier, because this is the highest CPU my motherboard will support, is the one I currently have in there. So
Okay. Okay.
I
So,
gotta
do
buy a
you
new
think?
motherboard, I guess. I don't know.
Okay. So yeah, I was gonna ask. So what do you think you're going to do next with your machine?
See, that's where I'm at a crossroads. I'm like, is it worth buying a new motherboard and then plugging everything back in and then like maybe get a new CPU? Or is it better to just like build another PC or do like a pre-built PC, and then you would have two PCs, and then maybe you could like take the pressure off of one and have the other do the streaming and one do the gaming? It's a possibility, but an expensive one, right? I'm trying to
Yeah,
weigh
100.
which option is cheaper, right?
I think the cheapest option is always going to be to buy the pieces that you actually, excuse me, to buy the pieces that you actually need, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's where I'm at right now. Even with my current RAM, I'm at 16. I definitely need 32.
Oh
And
yeah.
what you're saying with the CPU being at 100% for an extended period of time,
Yeah.
I have those, um, you know,
Okay.
percentages on my screen, right? So I noticed that's a thing that I'm considering changing in the near future. I'm doing a Ryzen 5
Okay.
2600. I definitely want to do like the 5500 or 5600, whatever it is, just to have a little bit more room or headroom, right,
Yes,
on the
please.
machine. So I think, you know what I mean. So I think I'm at a place where I'm considering doing that, and then 32 gigs of RAM,
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe a GPU in the near future, but not necessary, right? It's
Yeah.
absolutely not necessary. Especially, I think the challenge for me, if anything, is once you learn your machine and you kind of learn the ins and outs of your unit, you don't want to do too much changing. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's where I'm at right now. So, with the research that I've done for my particular mid range unit, if you will, because
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's like the high end. Uh, Maybe at the time the GPU was out, the 30 series was out, maybe it'd be considered close to high end, mid to high end range. But now you at
Mm-hmm.
what do we have now? The 50 series now, and
Yeah.
you have the bro, like, and then you have the B580. I think that's what it's called,
And
right?
like most
From
games aren't
Intel.
even calling for that. Most games are calling for like 3080 and below. Like, so we're
Right.
not even at the point where we're like lagging behind, and
Exactly.
these other guys, they're just paying a lot of money to overshoot and have that headroom, which as live streamers we might kind of need sometimes, but
Right.
it's not exactly
Exactly.
affordable, and it's not changes we always necessarily want to make, as you said.
100%. You kind of, get comfortable with the machine, and although I can buy a new machine right now, I kind of want
Mm-hmm.
to like build the machine out a little bit. Like use the same case, get a new motherboard, get
Yeah.
RAM. I took out an Ethernet controller because there was one built into the motherboard that I wasn't using, so I installed the drivers for that. So
Mm-hmm.
I've really been kind of cleaning up the machine so I could say, you know what, I know you and I know what you need, right? And I think we're just going to build from there. I think that's where I'm at with my machine. And it's running. It's running really, really good right now.
You're
So
talking
there's
about
that.
it like it's a car in your garage that you've been working
Yeah.
on. You've replaced all the parts, and you're really proud. And you don't want to sell it, and you don't want to buy
Exactly.
another car because then that car won't be in the garage. And then you'll what you do with the old car. It's better to just keep restoring the old car and get it to a position where it runs just the way
A
you
hundred
want.
percent.
Right? That's
Just the way
cool.
you want it. 100%. So I definitely want to hear from you on this particular topic. So extraction shooters, we have a lot of good ones on the market. We have a lot of games that have done the extraction shooters as a piece in the game and not the main game, right?
Yeah.
And I know we have a lot of games that have their main MO are extracting things and people, if you will,
Hmm.
from the world. So this is your area because you've been spending a lot of time here with Arc Raiders. So tell me exactly, why people are loving it so much and what's going on with Arc Raiders.
I think what's really interesting about Arc Raiders, and let's remember this is Embark, this is ex Dice Studio employees, so like ex Battlefield people and Battlefront, type. And these guys were like pretty high up at Dice when they moved over. So this is Embark. They made the finals. Arc Raiders is their second game here. And they said something bold, man. They said, we have a 10-year plan. And I know you know another developer that said they have a 10-year plan, and
Mm-hmm.
we're at year 11 with Bungie. But Arc Raiders is doing something really cool. They launched with 5 maps, and the sixth one just dropped last night. And it
Okay.
was a community event that we were all able to participate in. We were going out into the world and scavenging materials, and we were all donating the materials to restore what they call the North Line. So when you go to a different map in Arc Raiders, it's like you go in a subway tunnel. And so we're trying to restore different subway tunnels, I guess, to get to newer maps. So this is going to be a real special map, and we had to donate resources to do that. And because we did that, we get some sort of currency that works on a temporary battle pass. But they also kind of have, if you played Helldivers, they kind of have what war bonds are, and that kind of functions as a season pass. And though we only have one so far, and you
Okay.
get like new cosmetics and gear, but like they never give you like guns or like anything that would give you an advantage in the game necessarily. And you do what you do in these extraction shooters. You do quests, and you roam the world. You scavenge for things. You upgrade your guns. You do the looter shooter type thing too, where it's like, oh, what rarity is this gun? Can I put this mod on there that will increase my handling? I'm trying to get this, this pulse rifle. I need to do this. So that's really cool. But the other dynamic, I think, which is what makes the game incredibly fascinating, is that in solo mode, everyone's like really friendly. And
Really?
I was like, this is BS. I don't believe this. I was like, I'm going to get in there. I'm going to stream all day for like 5 hours, and we'll get a real good schematic of how people are. And I only had like 2 people kill me. And one, I felt like anytime that happened, it was like a moment where they could shoot you in the back when you were
Mm,
helpless, or you're already downed and they had the option to get you up, but they were like, I'd rather kick his teeth in. So
that's crazy.
it's like people just taking advantage of the fact that you got downed by the arcs, which are the robots. And I think the other cool thing is that the arcs, the way they programmed them, it wasn't just telling the AI like, hey, if you hear a player, go over here and kill him. Like it was we want you to learn how to walk. These are your legs, and you're like a spider robot or whatever, or you're a rolling ball. And it's like, hey, this is how you can move. We're not going to tell you how to move. And then the AI itself kind of learns. If you watch some of their videos, it's like really fascinating that they were like, rather than just programming a default walk and telling them you can go here but not there, like just sort of, it's like you're teaching a baby how to walk. You're like, hey,
Mm,
this is how you do it, but like I can't do it for you. Like I can assist you and hold you up for a moment, but like at a certain point your feet are going to learn where they can go, where they can't go. And you're like a newborn baby, you're going to crawl around things and you're going to figure out how to go places. And that's the scariest part is all these little spider robots, whether they're big or small, they will find, like, dude, you'll be hiding in a building in the dark and they'll be crawling around outside the windows, like trying to shoot missiles in there. If there's an open
What?
doorway, the flying drones will come in. Like they'll chase you, dude. Like it's like living the Terminator movies. Like
That's crazy.
the futuristic parts of the Terminator movies. They're real scary because it's just a whole bunch of killer robots and humanity is on the brink and we're hiding and we're scavenging and we're betraying each other. Like that's the magic of Arc Raiders. So yeah, solo mode has been sort of like, and even big people like as T Cross, the streamer, he
Yeah.
has said like, hey
Love his
boys,
channel,
like
man.
don't keep solos for solos. Don't pretend to be people's friends and shoot them in the back. Like, leave that mode for people that want to quest and loot and just have fun and team up and take down the big robots. Like, if you want PvP, like go into trios. And now they've added duos. They just did that because the community was like, hey man, like we
Was
can't
that this
always.
past week?
Yeah, they did it this past week. Yeah. Incredible, like quick feedback, quick thinking. They haven't made any big mistakes like most developers have. They've had a relatively bugless launch. I mean, I
So
think
I have to ask you,
yeah.
why do you think that is? Do they have a big team, small team? Why do you think that there's such fanfare and surge of happiness, if you will, whatever you want to put there, for this particular title? Is it because of their experience from previous games? Like, what do you think is happening right now?
And I don't even know how many people work at Embark right
Hmm.
now.
Hmm.
Um, but I don't know. Maybe it's patience. Maybe it's time. Maybe it's all the
Okay,
play tests that they did. They definitely did a lot of those, and I was a part of those. I can't really comment on anything further there, but I
of
think
course.
the more you do things like that, and you're willing to take feedback, and you're willing to listen to it, because I think that's also what they're doing. Like they're listening. Like players wanted a duos mode. It's like you don't always have two friends online and you don't want to run into a 3 stack when you're a 2 stack. Like
Mm-hmm,
it's
hmm.
unfair every single time.
Yeah,
um
I'm actually fascinated by what's happening with Arc Raiders. I'm watching from afar, never really played anything related to Arc Raiders or Arc Raiders, period. But I'm just trying to figure out, is there like a fine thread, if it exists, between a Division and a Destiny or any other extraction shooters like Rainbow Six that we can say, hey, these elements were put into Arc Raiders or no?
yeah, I definitely see it. Like some of Division's mechanics of like rarities of guns and putting the attachments that you put like grips and barrel
Hmm.
extensions and stocks, like all that's there. And we're using guns, like these are not guns that you're as familiar with IRL or in other games. Like these guns are like, you can tell by looking at them, they're like made out of like scraps, and it's got sort of that, was it like the NASA 80s
Hmm.
aesthetic
Hmm.
of
Hmm.
art. So the guns are almost kind of mechanical in a way, and while there are like laser guns you can use against the arcs, like everything else is pretty much bullets. And just looking at the guns, like they're cobbled together. They're not fancy like the guns we have now or the guns we imagine we'll have in the future. This is cobbling together old resources to create something. And also, one thing that my buddy, I didn't even say this, I see it too, I agree. But one of
Hmm.
my buddies, TX, he was playing with me and he said, this is just like old Russia in Destiny, the first game.
Really?
And I was like, you're right. You're right. I don't
Wow.
disagree. I'm like, I have that feeling again, and it's a weird feeling to have. And I really like it. And I think that pulls me in even more. And just like chilling, like go in, maybe it's raining, maybe it's the sun's coming up, and you just see that orange glaze over the horizon. And you're just walking around. And the audio is the other thing. The audio was
Wow.
like the number one thing that sold me on the game, which is crazy. but like the footprints, the sounds of the grass, the wind blowing the trees, the raindrops that fall and make it harder to hear people's footsteps, like just everything, every single sound from reloading guns, like all of that. It is like Division 2 in that way. They have really good audio there as well, where you can
100%.
hear the guns, you can hear the footsteps and the slides and things like that. And there's also the in-game communication system. It's already there. You got emotes, you got voice lines. So everyone says, "Don't shoot." And then you wait to listen. Someone says, "Okay," or someone says, "Yeah, thank you." Like those are things you can access from the D-pad, but you can also do like push to talk. And honestly, your chances of survival go way up when you can say like, "Hey man, we're just here doing a quest. I got a free loadout, not really worth killing." Like, if you use your ammo on me, like that's your money and resources that you're wasting. You have to think
Wow.
about that in an extraction shooter. It's not like Destiny where we're just like, "Oh, we got hordes of ammo." Extraction shooter is like, I only have 100 rounds on me, and I got like 200 or 300 rounds in my vault back at base. It's like, is it worth wasting like 60 to 80 rounds on this guy that has
Right.
a free loadout, and like he's just here doing a quest? Like, and that's kind of what everyone's doing in solo mode. We're just trying to loot. We're just trying to get quests done. And I read an article. I'll sum this up really quickly. But I read an article about sort of the psychology of this. About, well, why is there so much PvE in a game that has both? Like, why are there so many friendly people? And I think the person was sort of saying that this type of mentality will either spread and it will become like a common community thing where it's like, yeah, it's PvE until this happens, or maybe just this mode is very PvP. But they also said the flip side of that is that like if the PvP movement grows too much in a game like this, all the PvE players are just going to quit playing because they just might not enjoy, getting stomped on by superior players, superior gear, whatever it may be. And then you're just going to have a PvP extraction shooter, kind of like Hunt Showdown or DayZ even sometimes falls. But I think the will they won't they is what keeps Arc Raiders exciting. And so
I mean, that's
even
interesting.
yeah, even as a PvE player, like someone who enjoys that a little more than PvP, I love both sides, and I love those moments where maybe someone's shooting at me and I can like talk them down, or maybe someone was being nice and then we were like, wait a minute, these guys don't have mics, and they just walked over and this guy's holding a grenade now.
So what's interesting about that is that's what Division suffers from. Like
Really?
everything that they're doing with Arc Raiders that you shared
Mm-hmm.
is the thing with Division. Who would go into Dark Zone right now by themselves?
It's too
Nobody I
much.
know. Nobody I know, man.
They're way too
Because you
experienced and
a
they're
hundred
geared.
percent, 100%, bro, and they'll tear you up. Even if you're just like, hey, you try to be friendly in Dark Zone in Division 2, they're going to make sure that you don't get out of there, or they just go rogue, to get whatever's going on nearby, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that what you share with Arc Raiders is the beauty of what we're looking for in community that's refreshing, right? Which we haven't seen in a while, we
Yeah.
haven't seen in a while, or it's not something that is championed,
Mm-hmm.
for sure. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely want to say that. But the other thing too is Shroud has called on his fans to vote for Arc Raiders as Game of the Year 2025 over Claire Obscure Expedition 33. What are your thoughts on that? Like, I don't know anything about that world. So what do you think? Is that good, bad, indifferent?
I haven't played Expedition 33, but like everyone who has, and the internet will not shut up about how great the music is, how great the voice actors are, how maybe someone doesn't like the RPG kind of turn-based style of things, but then they tried the game and they were like, "Oh, this is really cool." So like I feel like that game's inevitable. I feel like it's headed right to Game of the Year. It's a game I'd like
Mhm.
to try, and it has all the accolades that you would think would build up to a nomination and a potential win. Whereas Arc Raiders kind of falls in that weird spot where it's like Destiny, Division, even oh my gosh, what is the other one? Warhammer 40K, Space Marine 2. Like some of
Okay.
these games have been nominated for like best multiplayer or best ongoing game. Like I see that more as where Arc Raiders will go. I think Game of the Year, even though they have over 700,000 concurrent players, and Bark has said this, that means 700,000 Raiders are actively playing. That's not even just sales. That's just like how many active players there are at one.
Wait, can you repeat that number one more time?
700,000.
That's crazy.
300,000 short of a million. And
That's
listen,
crazy,
every
bro.
weekend it grows. Hundreds of thousands more join. Like a few weeks ago, they were trying to go from 200 to 300. Last weekend, we were kind of trying to see, oh, it goes to 400K. Like, what's happening?
Yeah, that's wild.
So it's a lot of
That's
players, and I think it's kind of crazy to. It's almost like he's weaponizing his community to vote for this game, which is not illegal, by the way. There's nothing wrong with that. That's kind of like Taylor Swift coming out and saying to vote for someone, you know? Like it's.
mm,
But people listen to influencers, and it's just. It'll be interesting to see how that goes. But, we know that the Game Awards is voted on by, like journalists and people in the industry. So at the end of the day, they'll probably have more of the final say. But there's always like the community vote of like what gamers think the best game is. So maybe there's a
100%.
chance there. And I would say multiplayer game or best ongoing game could be a shot here for Arc Raiders.
Yeah, 100%. The other thing I saw, thanks for sharing that stuff with Arc Raiders, man. I'm still looking, I'm still watching some streams here and there. I think there's a lot of good stuff going on there for sure. And I don't know. I'm a one trick pony. Right now Destiny still, has me, and
Mm-hmm.
of course Call of Duty just came out, which we'll talk about later. But I definitely can appreciate what's happening with Arc Raiders as a community for sure. So those are some thoughts there. The other thing I want to talk to you about is this particular announcement. We kind of knew was coming back in some way, shape, or form because the era that we're in with handhelds and consoles and what used to be exclusives, if you will, that era is fading out very, very quickly, with the exception of Nintendo. Nintendo's always going to be, the place where exclusive still like exists, at least for now, right? So Steam announced the controller, the Steam machine, and the VR headset with an announcement that I don't think we were really expecting. So thoughts on that? We'll talk about this for a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Because you do have the Steam Deck, which allows you to go portable, and kind of like a Switch, you can buy docks that will allow you to like run an HDMI cable to your TV, and then you can sync up controllers. But also, the Steam Deck gets really hot when you really start gaming or you want to play something like Cyberpunk. So yeah, I mean, this thing with its fans, heatsink, potential connectivity stuff. I mean, the specs look really good. Like they're claiming 4K, 60 FPS with FSR. Like and since it's something that you're plugging in, you're not gonna have to worry about battery life. I think it sounds great. I'm just worried about the price point because I think gaming is starting to get a little unaffordable for people where, it's like maybe a PS5 and Xbox were affordable, but now this is the first generation where we've seen prices go up 5 years
Yeah.
into a generation rather than go down. And maybe that's a bunch of other things outside of our control. It's like,
Yeah, chip shortage and demand and all that stuff.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. So yeah, I'm worried. That's the biggest worry. Like this could be people's accessibility point into PC gaming, where it's like, hey, this is literally a PC. Like they said, you could install, Windows or Linux or whatever your preference is, and you can still do PC things with this machine, although,
yeah,
gaming is the primary focus. I think that's really great. This could be really accessible, and I think you were mentioning earlier that depending on the price, they could slam dunk and like put some competition, throw a wedge right between the Switch being like really affordable with the Switch and Switch 2, and throw a wedge right in the middle between that and like your PlayStation 5s and your Xbox Series X. And then of course at the very other end of the spectrum, like the investment that it takes to build like a real gaming PC that's,
Hmm.
going to cost you probably thousands of dollars, right, over time.
Yeah, 1,400 at the very least, and it's not going to
Yeah.
be that price, right?
Yeah.
Because we already have things that are handheld that are getting close to that price. Even with the recent interview that Sarah Bond did, hinting what the future of the console is going to be for Xbox, and even going into that particular conversation, you're looking at a console that's going to be, $799 and up, right? If you're building a PC that is not a PC but is going to be very close to a PC,
Mm-hmm.
that's the conversation surrounding Microsoft. But with this Steam machine here, I'm thinking, I know we were kind of talking about it before we hit record. 449 to 549 is safe. You
That
know what I
would be
mean?
great, dude. That would be
It will
a
be
good
safe.
spot.
It will be safe. I think that's a safe spot. And a couple of things, I was actually thinking about this recently, and I was writing a couple of things on Twitter. I know they don't call it that anymore, but
Yeah.
it's just a couple of things that I want to share in regards to this. So one of the things I was saying on Twitter, I said Valve unveils Steam Frame, Steam Machine, the new controller. Valve is going after everybody on the market, awake or asleep, right? That's just the nature of this particular announcement. This is a bridge for all the players who've been considering a PC device for some time. It's happening right in front of our eyes. Everyone has to play nice. That includes Xbox and every other company. Nintendo may be the only player that can still put the exclusive carrot in front of gamers because Mario, Zelda, Metroid, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's just the nature of where we are right now. So once Steam, and this is what I wrote, once Steam has you, it's over. Hall effect sticks are something that is great, but TMR is the new standard. The best decision I ever made as a gamer was go to PC. And then from there, I did some, call to actions after that particular post. So essentially what I'm saying there is, pretty plain, but with what's happening with Steam right now, and pretty much it is so easy to publish something on Steam from what I hear, right? Xbox had to open up the I guess the curtain for what publishing is going to be on the platform, because this is a direct competition now for whatever Xbox has coming in the future.
Mm-hmm.
If it's going to be this easy for Steam players to migrate or add an additional device to their home with the Steam machine and be okay with that machine being there right next to their consoles as a pass through device for whatever they're going to use, bro, this is a game changer for solidifying that this is the direction that everybody's going moving forward. I think that's where we are. So whether Nintendo gave us a preview when they did the hybrid machine with the handheld,
Mm-hmm.
saying that, with that particular statement, I believe they made handhelds will always be here,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Yeah.
then you started seeing all the companies afterwards release their own versions of handhelds pass through devices that you can
Mm-hmm.
hold and, play your favorite games, and even, take a drive, add some additional space to add some other things on that particular device if you do. Now, as you noticed recently, I think that PlayStation announced something recently with their handheld device that they unlocked something that you could do. I'm trying to remember what that particular feature was, but to make it, you know, more of something that you want to turn on and play,
Mm-hmm.
as a handheld device. Steam has been, killing it for some times, and even the recent devices for the handheld for Xbox, that's major, right?
Yeah.
And we're seeing all the companies move in the same direction. Like, I know we were talking about this a year or two ago about the Hall effect sticks, that should be a standard
Yeah.
on all the controllers. We saw that wave come in, and a lot of companies tested that particular technology on their devices, and some of them did it adjacent but licensed that device to be officially used on their particular platform. Xbox did that a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now you're seeing all the companies do something very interesting. Either they're going to hold on to their system for a while and make it like a pass-through device, a la PlayStation, because I think that's where I feel PlayStation is at right now. They're not necessarily announcing anything new as far as console, but they're realizing the wave of all the other companies making sure that they have a box underneath your TV or whatever, your monitor. That is the standard now. Thoughts on that? I know I'm like ranting a little bit, but I think that's where we are.
I think that makes a lot of sense, man. I mean, we've seen both Xbox and PlayStation games come to Steam, so it's like this is the nest that everyone calls home and no one leaves this nest. Once you're in Steam, it's they pull me out, but I they keep pulling me back in, every time I think I'm out.
100%.
So I think a device that's like powerful and accessible and useful in this way, and if the pricing is somewhat competitive, I think people might even opt to throw this under their TV because it's much smaller than say the gargantuan PS5 or the towering Xbox Series X, and arguably it's able to play games that are on both. You might have to wait a year or two on your Spider-Mans and your God of Wars, but on your Xbox games, a lot of those are day one on PC as well. And the cool thing about the Steam thing here is that, I mean, you'll be able to just download the Xbox app or Ubisoft Connect or EA or any other apps that you're playing games on, and just wait for PlayStation games to come in as they will. And if you're a Nintendo guy, okay, go pick up a Switch or something. If that's your thing, you can still play Mario that way. I think it's great.
Yeah, I think it's great too, man. Like the other thing I wrote, I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but just a snippet. It says, without Steam flexing its mature open ecosystem fueled by easy indie publishing and mega hits, Xbox might have stayed gated, scaring off smaller studios who griped about the system on how to publish on their particular platform. This would not be a conversation at all if Steam didn't announce the machine coming out. I don't think it would be a conversation.
Yeah,
Xbox would never
you're right.
say that, hey, you know what, we're gonna let you, get a look at what we do with the Xbox game publishing platform. This is a guide, so we're gonna tell you exactly what we do here. We would never be having this conversation if Steam didn't announce. But Steam already gave a preview. What was it? A couple of years ago when they were doing the machine. This is not their first machine,
Yeah.
right? But this is the machine that is going to work even more in this era of gaming, pass through. This is the pass through gaming era,
Mm-hmm.
right? Every machine is a pass through machine. PlayStation has one with their handheld,
Mm-hmm.
right? Steam has theirs to some degree. And who else? Xbox has theirs now, right? Via,
Yeah.
who did that? Asus did their machine, for the hardware.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Asus. So every company now has a machine that is considered a pass-through device where you never technically leave that ecosystem, which I think is good for them, but I think it's good for Xbox because this particular thing is exciting because everybody's library is going to be accessible everywhere on whatever machine. It kills silos, right?
Mm-hmm.
We
Yeah.
talked about as far as exclusivity is not necessarily a thing of the past because Nintendo prides itself on that. We're going to see Nintendo for the next 50 years, 80 years plus, because that IP is so strong, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Nintendo makes sure that anything that you try with their stuff, all their lawyers are going to come after you, right? So they make sure
That's very
that that's a
true.
thing. You know what I'm saying? So, and then everybody wins for us, as gamers, as you and I, who play games, who love games, right? We win because we see the competition and these companies are competing for market share.
Mm-hmm.
But at the very least, we can have their machines, in our homes and in our offices, So I think it's exciting, man.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's where we are with that stuff, Steam. So the other thing I want to mention real quick, Logitech recently launched the Cyan Pro X Superlight 2. That is just that amazing blue cyan. I just love it. I just love it. So if you guys are looking into getting that, you can use my code Andrew Alliance and get a discount of that on the Logitech website. That is the Pro X Superlight 2, and it is beautiful. It is beautiful. I'm using it right now on my machine. and it is pretty dope. So definitely check that out. And anything else, Logitech, you use my code Andrew Alliance and get a discount on that. So that's that. So next thing we have is the State of Destiny. I know we haven't necessarily played Destiny together in a while, but I know we've played Destiny in recent days and weeks. So what are your thoughts on the State of Destiny at this time?
It's a little tricky. I think a lot of people put out their tweets with final shape, and they were like, "Hey man, it's been a great 10 years. See ya." Um,
Yeah.
but I think also with this new Renegades, the new Star Wars update that will bring in like lightsabers and
Mm-hmm.
different weaponry from all your favorite Star Wars movies, and you can see like the ATST walkers walking around. Like that's gonna bring some people in. I don't know if that's enough to like revive Destiny from the state that it's in. You know, they have a new narrative that they're trying to roll out. They have the new portal, which is very, depending on who you are and what your goals are, I think it's pretty controversial, and it kind of pulls you away from the accessing like destinations or just loading into the tower or the galaxy map, you know, by throwing you into the portal and just saying like, hey, pick this activity. You want to go shoot stuff here or here or here, and then you spend like 5 or 10 minutes selecting modifiers, and then you go to LFG and decide if you need to recruit people, or
Mm-hmm.
you know, maybe you're old school and you just click Gambit or Crucible and go from there. But yeah, I think it was really weird having a campaign that you didn't click on a planet or a location. It was like you go to the portal and you click the latest expansion. So it's a little weird because I really can't recruit more people to play, and so it feels kind of sad because you're telling
Right.
people like, hey, you need to buy the latest expansion to play with me, and it'll be fun. But like, who knows if that expansion will be here a year or 2 or 3 years from now? Like
Exactly.
all the other content that's been straight up deleted, which is another controversial factor that makes it really hard for me to like tell my friends, you know, I'm in it because I've loved it and I don't think I'll ever like delete it or you know, I've had my moments where they added where the weapons were sunset, and I was like, that's it for me. I was so pissed
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
worked for years to get some of those guns. I grinded Crucible to get some of those guns, and then they were just instantly like, yeah, this is outdated. This sucks. You're never gonna use this again. And it basically was a message from Bungie to me, was like, hey, we don't value your time or your effort that you put in this game. We only value the fact that you're playing today, not that you've played for the past 3 years or that, you know, whatever your contributions are on Eververse. I think anytime they've sunset that or vaulted content or brought that content back temporarily, like it's all been kind of a nasty game, and I know that's because of storage space and all sorts of other problems that, you know, maybe average gamers cannot really comprehend the struggles of game development. But I think they're in a tricky spot of their own making, and you know, we always thought Division or Warframe or even Arc Raiders or Marathon would be the Destiny killer. I
Right.
think it's Bungie. Bungie might be the Destiny killer.
Ooh. Ooh. Okay.
Controversial, but you
I
know,
see what you
look at
did
the player
there.
count. If there's only 15,000 people playing on PC a day
Yeah.
or whatever, that's not good. That's really
Yeah.
bad. That's lower than Curse of Osiris, and we all know that first Destiny 2 expansion, 2 tokens and a blue on Mercury. It was not a great deal.
Mm. Yeah, you know what? You're right. I share a lot of those sentiments that you just shared on here. I think for me, there's only two things Destiny can do for me to like really be upset about this stuff going on.
Yeah.
All right. The first thing is take out control and PvP.
Whoa.
And then the second thing is take out pulse rifles in the future. So if they do those two things, I think it's gonna be tough for me to like really be a Destiny fanboy, you know, moving forward because that's the only thing I really do. You know what I'm saying? I jump on PvP,
Mm-hmm.
I select control, And then most of the time I'm using pulse rifles in the game, with friends or whatever, or solo queue. And that's it. That's all I do. I really don't play campaign that much unless there's a subclass that I need. And now I don't even think Neo Muna is an option for me to go to the Puka Pond to meditate for like the strand stuff. So right now I can't even unlock some of the strand stuff. So that's annoying. Okay.
Wait, is
But
that because you don't have the expansion, or did they
well,
delete
I
something?
have it.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't see the planet on the screen for me to go to Neomuna to go to Puka Pond to like meditate and then do my thing to unlock the stuff because I'm collecting strand meditation. Let's just say coins, right?
uh-huh.
But I have no place to redeem them right now because the planet is not on my screen to go to. So how do I redeem these things to unlock those capabilities? How do I do that?
That's a
So
huge
last time I
problem.
checked,
Yeah.
bro, it's a huge problem, right?
Yeah,
But my
you
thing is
can't
not.
access it.
But what if I didn't do? So now I'm thinking because I'm using a warlock as of the last couple of months, which is rare for
Really?
me. Really,
Hmm.
really.
Interesting for a
So,
hunter for life
uh,
over here.
yeah,
I'm gonna delete my
exactly.
other characters, Aaron. I said don't do it. I said don't do it.
I almost did. I almost did. So
Yeah.
so the last couple of months I've been using the warlock and it's been really good. Just learning, the pacing of the warlock, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like, okay, if I have these strand meditations and I can't go to the planet and Ikora in the tower can't help me redeem them, then how do I redeem these things for the capabilities? Because if you go to Ikora on the tower,
Mm-hmm.
she only has the other subclass, and I don't think she has Strand listed as something that she can participate in assisting you to uncover or unlock those capabilities. Right? That was reserved for Neomuna
Mm-hmm.
at the Puka Pond when you go into the building next to Osiris, in that building or whatever.
Yeah. She's not gonna
So
teach you the ways of darkness. That's not her
right,
vibe.
she's
Yeah.
not gonna do right. She's not
It's
gonna do
lore
Strand. So
accurate.
how am I exactly? What
But
am I gonna
somebody
do?
needs to teach it to you, whether it's like
Exactly.
Eris or somebody.
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 So that's kind of strange for me right now. So I do have the subclass which I like. So
Mm-hmm.
at the very least I can use it, but I can't really unlock anything right now. So that's kind of weird. But for me with Destiny right now, I'm still going to go find out if Zur has anything. Now it's been very interesting, and I was telling a couple of friends this recently. Zur is going to give you probably the best things
Mm-hmm.
for Destiny moving into Thanksgiving and moving into Christmas, especially the first week. What is it? Renegades is December 2nd, I believe.
Yeah.
So moving into those weeks, Zur is probably going to have one thing that is very, very good as
Mm.
far as the weapon is concerned to make sure that you keep coming back and logging into the game. That's the idea, right?
Yeah.
At the very least, for you to see the changes that are happening with the carrot that Zer's going to give you every week heading into December, which is fine. That's fine for me. But just make sure that there's a pulse rifle in there. That's all I care about. I'm very easy to please when it comes to Destiny. I don't really care about the shaders like that.
Uh-huh.
Weapons, they're cool. Bow and arrow, that's great. I have my favorites, of course. Outbreak is one of the best weapons ever produced. In Destiny, Bygones will probably be, high top 5 for me for sure. Horror's Lease, which we talk about all the time, that's in my top 5. But outside of that, I'm very easy to please when it comes to the game. So for me, the state of the game is fine because I still do the things that I'm happy about when I play it. But for everybody else who's looking for narrative, episodic content, and all the things that the game says is going to provide at a very, very high level, I could see why those individuals are disappointed. It's not that I don't care. It's just that it doesn't affect my style of the things that I do in Destiny, and that's it.
Interesting. I listen to a lot of As T Cross, and that's probably your fault that you brought me
Yeah,
on
he's
to
good.
him. He's a great
He's really
creator,
good.
dude. And he talks about a lot of things, and I've found his arguments to be fascinating. He either wants a Destiny 3, but not just to throw the number 3 on it and keep doing what they're doing here, but like take that time, whether it's like 6 years or however long a development phase is, and like figure out like what was the secret that made Destiny so successful, And how do we transition from part 2 to 3? Do we let you bring your weapons forward, or do we force you to grind everything out again? Do we migrate all the content? Do we leave current gen consoles like PS4s and Xbox Ones behind so that we can have consoles with bigger storage space and PC gamers, be able to embrace like the full vision of what and scope of Destiny, where they won't have to constantly cut content to keep the install size small. So that's one solution. The other one is Destiny Classic, where it's like we go back to Destiny 1 and we just start over, and you get like the nostalgia of Destiny 1, but you get to relive it with all the perks and bonuses, like having all the abilities we have in D2, like the guns, the feel, like just all of the things that they've done over the years in terms of quality of life and performance and stuff. But go back to Destiny, and I almost feel that that's kind of what Destiny Rising is doing, the mobile game that you can
So good.
emulate on your PC. I actually love that game right now. It's so amazing. It gave me the same feeling of like playing Destiny 1 back in 2014. Like it took me back to a whole new world and just lore and everything
Yeah,
that
just don't you dare close your eyes, right?
yeah. I was on the magic carpet, man. I couldn't believe it, dude.
Yeah, it's so good. And I think that Bungie can learn a lot from NetEase when it comes to what they're doing with Destiny Rising. So many good things happening there.
Yeah. Listen, I sent you a screenshot. You don't have Neptune on your map. Like, correct?
Let me
Like,
see.
not at all. Because I see
I'm
it on
gonna
my map, and I own the expansion. So you're
maybe
making
I was
me a
doing
little
something crazy.
nervous. So
Okay.
maybe if your warlock hasn't played the campaign, maybe you have to like click somewhere to start the campaign, and then you unlock
Yeah,
Neptune as a
I have to
destination. I don't
yeah,
know.
maybe I have to do that again, but the thing is they're so weird, bro. I can't even
I don't know what it could
I
be, but we need to figure that out because that's not right.
yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna look into it some more because
Okay.
right now every single ability that I have for Strand is locked right now.
Oh, and that's terrible because Strand is really powerful, especially on a warlock
100%.
too. I mean, it's
Especially on the Warlock,
one of
bro.
those
Especially.
abilities, man. They are
Yeah,
really good.
and even the season right now, it's catering to Strand this
Hmm.
season.
Yeah, so you don't
And
want to leave home without it.
100%. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna look into it some more. But that's the thing. With me, it's very, very simple.
Hmm.
Just leave control alone. Give me the ability to continue doing PvP where, latency is extremely low,
Hmm.
matchmaking is good. So I'm very simple when it comes to Destiny stuff. But don't take away, my weapons, and I think we're gonna be good. So I mean that's where we are with Destiny, man. So I still love the game. I'm probably going to play it this weekend for sure. I'm gonna visit Zur to see what he has. Or he, because I know he usually brings at least one pulse rifle, one shotgun, and some other things. So I have to pay him a visit.
It's
I'm gonna
tradition,
see what he
man.
has. 100%, 100%. Before we talk about our last topic, which released this week, anything that you want to mention before we talk about Call of Duty?
Man, I think just to make a quick note on some things that YouTube is up to, since you're always creating stuff over there as well. YouTube has added a collaboration feature where, like, if we were making a video or if we did a live stream after the live stream, you can invite someone as a collaborator. And so, if we were making a video together, and let's say we were both in the video talking about something, you can invite another YouTuber as a collaborator. And instead of just showing your name, like, how you scroll beneath a video and you see the creator's name and you can click
Hmm.
on it, it'll show both of our names and both of our profile pictures, and it shows that we collaborate. You can also share analytics with your collaborator, but that's a switch you can flip if you want to share that. That way you can both kind of track how well the video is doing on your page versus your friend's page, maybe. And it's a really interesting feature. So there's that, and then the other big one I want to highlight is they have the dual streaming, where you don't
Mm.
have to create two streams. You literally just go to your dashboard, start a live stream, you click dual stream, and then it'll do a horizontal as normal, and then it'll automatically crop the middle portion of your stream to do like a shorts feed of that. So for
Wow.
gaming, dude, that's like you're set.
Top tier right there.
I hope the feature gets better because I'd like to add my camera to the vertical feed.
Hmm,
I'd
hmm.
like people to be able to see me and stuff and get the full experience. Any other things that I want to pop up on stream, I'd like to have that. But now your computer will probably take less of a hit in terms of like performance while you're
Of
trying to dual
course.
stream, which is it's to me it's like mandatory. It's like the future. It's the only way you're gonna grow your audience is to be in multiple places, even on YouTube. You
100%.
know?
Even on YouTube, 100%.
Yeah.
No, that's pretty dope. Thank you for sharing that. I do have one or two things I didn't mention before we go to the Call of Duty stuff. Where winds meet.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that? That looks dope.
I'm gonna download that today. I am
Okay.
super excited. It's free to play. It is an MMO, but it's also has a single player campaign. It also has I believe it's 4-player co-op, but it's also an MMO. So it's like it's a lot of things all at once, and they've shown things like playing card games and sumo wrestling and different silly activities and it's got all sorts of fun things like double jumping. It has like weapons from umbrellas to fans,
Hmm.
katanas, spears, like anything you can imagine, and the skill trees are massive, and it kind of plays like a Soulsy type game, but it's
What was the
definitely.
other game that came out similar to it? Like, what was that? Last August?
Let's see,
What were you playing? You were playing something with the monkey with the
Wukong.
bow. Oh yeah,
It's definitely
Remi-
got that same sort of
the
artistic
vibe.
vision
Yeah,
and vibe, yeah, in a way, but more of
yeah.
an
So
MMO.
I'm excited. I'm gonna download it as well because I have some of those titles on my PC. So that is today, the 14th.
Yeah, let me
So
know. We could roam around a little bit and see what kind of trouble we can get into.
that we can get into for sure. Yeah, so no, I'm definitely downloading that.
Yep.
I know I did mention Red Dead Redemption, maybe offline before we recorded. Sold 79 million copies since it debuted it in 2018. So I'll mention that real quick. Shout outs to them.
Wow.
Fourth biggest selling game of all time. So there's that.
Oof.
We did talk about Destiny very recently. So they do have a pulse rifle in the upcoming expansion, which is called All or Nothing, which I'm excited to check out.
I
That's the name
saw
of the
that
pulse
one, dude.
rifle.
It has a really
I'm
rapid
excited, bro.
fire rate, like real steady. You can see it in the
Yeah,
video. Like it looks gorgeous, man. We have to get it.
absolutely. Yeah, so I'm excited for that. Halo Studios has announced it will be delivering the last major update to Halo Infinite this month. Thoughts on that?
And that's rough because that's like their flagship multiplayer title. They
Yeah,
abandoned the
yeah,
Master Chief Collection and they're, focusing on this, Halo campaign evolved, which is not going to have the multiplayer, which, defines Halo. If you're bringing Halo to the PlayStation to players that have never experienced Halo, like why would you chop off what I think a lot of players would say is the most important part? Like that was the culture, dude. Was like split screen and online and all sorts of things, just playing that. I mean, the campaign
right.
is great and I love it, but there is so much more to Halo, and it just feels weird to do that. But I understand why. It's probably not incredibly easy, and they may not want to have servers on that and Infinite, and then Master Chief Collection servers, and then any servers that they might be maintaining on some of the older games like 5. You know how
Mm-hmm.
Halo 5 is sort of just isolated on previous gen hardware, never brought to PC or PS5 or Xbox. Well, Xbox Series X is playable on, but yeah, they didn't really bring that one forward, or the servers for Halo Wars. I'm sure all that costs money, and they're probably weighing options of like, do we really need to do this? And I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, resources, right? No, I definitely agree with the resource aspect of this. And the other thing too is Halo Master Chief is no longer mysterious,
Hmm.
right?
Okay.
You know, like when I think about the awe factor, even some of the things that you were saying before about bringing back, you know, the first Destiny, and what made it special was the mystery of what is on the other side. What
Yeah.
happens when this 14-minute timer is over? Do I get that thing at the end? You know, what's going on in Vault of Glass? Am I finally gonna get this weapon that I've been chasing for such a long time? That energy, that
Mm-hmm.
mystery, that question mark is gone in a lot of the major titles. And I think that's what they're trying to get back. Like if you even look at I'm going to use Destiny as an example. Can you
Mm.
imagine if while you're playing a match in Destiny today, out of nowhere they drop a Fate Bringer?
Mm.
What do you think that would do to the entire community? How is this Fate Bringer here? And I was just randomly doing an activity that I didn't even expect something like that to drop. The surge that it will send through the community as far as a hint of going back to the past, of making sure you enjoy the things that you used to enjoy, the mystery,
Uh-huh.
the awe, the, you know, I can't wait to see what's next, you know,
Mm-hmm.
factor of certain games that we've enjoyed throughout the years is gone. I mean, you probably have a little bit of it in Division because of, you know, characters like Keener, and you know that energy of mystery of a character that's speaking through you to like through the audio systems, and you're like, this guy is annoying, but I can't wait to take him out at the end. That energy is gone, bro. Like, where is that?
Well,
And I think
because
that's what
it's
we're
we
looking for.
defeated Thanos, man. It's over. Like
That's what I'm
Marvel
saying.
doesn't even know where to go with the Avengers now. They're
That's what I'm
struggling.
saying, man.
Like the
So
mystery
that
is
that
gone. The big
energy,
bad is taken care of. It's like, so what does that mean? Like I know you mentioned Fatebringer is like a possible solution. Like exotics aren't rare anymore. Like they just give them to us, or they just give us a quest and you get it
right?
100% of the time. Like there's no more like, oh, we were doing the raid, or oh, we just did a random strike and then I got this exotic, and like I'm the friend that has it. No one else has it. And you bump into people in the tower and you're like, what is that guy wearing? I've never seen that before. Like when that mystery is gone,
Exactly.
you lose the secret
So
sauce, and that's why Rising feels interesting. And
right.
you know,
Right, because I think it's a lot. I don't think it's just the production of the game. Like when I think about, you know, things like this, and now we're not even talking about games anymore. Now we're talking about culture, you
yeah,
know, nurturing people, environments, teams, and stuff like that. I think when people don't care about what they're doing anymore, and it's just a clock in, clock out, you get,
mm-hmm.
you know, certain expansions that don't feel that they belong there.
Yeah,
That's what I mean. You know, so when you think about Destiny and some of the expansions that were so amazing,
mm-hmm.
remember all the dev videos that they were producing around that time. You could feel the culture was a unified one at that time,
Yeah,
with every single expansion that did amazingly well. And it's kind of like, I look at it like when a team wins a championship, it's not by accident,
mm-hmm.
right? It's not just the fact that they're working out and building muscle and all those things. They're actually doing other things together that we don't see. So when they actually do the thing on the stage, it's like, wow, it's like poetry in motion. And when a company, whether it's a gaming company, a team loses the poetry in motion as a culture, as a company, every single aspect of the things that they produce is affected.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we're here with Destiny. That's why we're there with Arc Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you're there with Where Winds Meet. You can name the games that are like doing so, like that awe factor, I can't wait to play it energy. Something is happening with that team. And what was the name of the game? Um, is it not? It's not Hellblade, is it? No, not Hellblade. What's that? The lady with the sounds and the, oh my gosh, they did two
Yeah,
of
that
those
is
games. Why could,
Hellblade, isn't it?
is it
Yeah,
Hellblade? What was the
yeah.
name of it? Was two, right? It was
Senua's
two games.
Sacrifice
Yeah,
and
yeah, that game,
Senua's, yeah.
Remember, remember how the team was so unified, and it was only 20 of them that made the first game.
Yeah.
And look how well that did. So to me, it's not necessarily about the talent of the team.
Mm.
Oh, they have so much talent. Why are they not producing Apex Legends out of nowhere
Mm-hmm.
when it launched? the energy between that particular team when they were launching, and they were saying all we had was a chair in the middle of an office when we were building this game. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you have to go back to why those things aren't like, there has to be a person who is a master at keeping the nurturing and the culture of a company,
Mm-hmm.
and that person is going to make sure that if the people are okay, their gifts and talents are going to produce you the best thing for the company, or whatever that insert name of the company here.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we at with that, right?
Yeah.
Find a game, name a game that failed and name a game that succeeded, and you go back to the dev videos and their excitement and Call of Duty Modern Warfare when that first came out, the energy behind that title. And then you go to the Call of Duty with the dogs, the
Mm-hmm.
energy behind that title, right? So you can go and you pick a game, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's where we are. It's not about they don't have the talent or necessarily the resources, because we saw a game made with 20 people. We've seen games
Yeah.
made with two people, one artist, one animator. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not impossible. We don't need like a AAA. You just need the culture to be one that is preserved, that is protected. You know what I mean? When they talk about a team member on social media, the leadership protects that team member,
Yeah.
so that team member doesn't feel like they're isolated. Oh, like if my leadership can't even protect me from the hound dogs on social media, do they even care about me as a contributor to this company?
Yeah.
It becomes that conversation. And then next thing you know, that aspect of your favorite game that happens to be the thing that they work on, it starts dwindling. And you're like, well, why is PvP so bad now? Or why is the narrative, story writer, script writer is so bad? What happened? Well,
Mm-hmm.
it could be culture,
Yeah. Culture, and
So
we
I think
lost a
that's what it
lot of
is.
people at Bungie. A lot of those,
100%.
a lot of the big guys have left. The big dogs that were focused on the weapons and the story and the
That's what I'm saying,
art
bro.
style and everything, and so now the vision is headed a different direction. And let me answer this question: when or what was the last Destiny expansion that you were like, oh, I'm excited for this? I'm like foaming at the mouth. I can't wait to download this. I'm gonna be there day one.
Osiris stuff, maybe?
So you think the first expansion, like the
Yeah, first. And then what was the other one after that? There was Life. I mean, for me, they were just, okay, I'm going to play it because I love Destiny.
yeah.
Like the
No,
first
because
couple
that's
of,
how I feel now. I'm playing
right,
things because I love Destiny. It's an
right.
obligation, not something I'm looking forward to.
It's not, I'll tell you what,
Forsaken was big,
Forsaken was
Shadowkeep,
good.
Witch
Yeah,
Queen,
Forsaken, Shadowkeep, those were good.
you
Those were
know.
good. Witch Queen was good. Yeah, my thing is like for Destiny, it's been a long time where I was like, I can't wait for this
Okay.
feeling, you know. But when they do, I kind of feel that a little bit with Renegades because of Star Wars and all the stuff that they're
Yeah,
doing there. So I'm excited about
I'm
that.
on board for
So
that.
to be fair, I'm excited about that. Okay.
Okay.
But it's been a while since I'm like, it has to be day one. For me, I think Renegades is day one because, I'm already in, right?
Yeah, I
But I
think it's a
think
day
that
one.
yeah, I think it's gonna be exciting times, for that when it comes to Destiny. But it's been a while, bro. It's been a while that I could actually say, I'm more excited for weapons that I don't have still,
Mm-hmm.
that are pulse rifles that are gated in some way, shape, or form. Gated because I'm not doing them, not gated because of money, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because if I'm not doing raids, then I'll never see those weapons in my library, right? They're
Oh,
gated in that way,
that
right?
hurts. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for me, I'm more excited for pulse rifles that I don't have, and I can't wait to have them. And when I see someone else using them and I hear their sounds, I'm like, man, I can't wait till I'm able to get them. So that feeling is still there, right? But I think that you can bottle that feeling as long as your people, whoever they are, and the company feel valued,
Mm-hmm.
not just because of their gifts that bring you money, but their personhood, what they bring to the table, and their gifts, right? And I think if a company or team finds a way to nurture that, and then we see that in every and every type of what do you call it? Um, whether it's the car business, the game business, or any business, it's
Yeah.
all about nurturing the people that you have.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's how you're gonna get the best, and really mean it, not just nurturing it because you know they're gonna bring you something at the end, but really want them, like you really value them, and they feel that. If they don't feel that, then you're faking it. But if they don't feel that you really care about them as a human being, care about their families and the gifts that they were hired for in their roles, because it's not just a job, bro. You're creating an experience for individuals that we've been playing with this thing for like 10 years
Yeah.
plus.
11 now.
You think about World of Warcraft and all the games that have been out for so long, Call of Duty games that have been out for so long. We've seen these people like they age like presidents. We see them 10 years ago and them now, with the same companies, some of them, right?
Yeah.
So it's more that they have babies born, marriages, and all the stuff that happened in a 10-year span with all these companies. So it's more than just gaming. And I think that those things have to be nurtured. And that's not something we could talk about games all day. Yeah, next game is coming out and stuff like that. But these individuals that are making these games and these experiences, when these big layoffs happen, which I try not to talk about a
Yeah.
lot,
It hurts.
everybody is affected immediately, their families and everybody else, right? And of course, we want them to bounce back. Of course, we want to see more from them, which is why we see all these studios coming up from previous talent and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. Make waves because they have the experience, and now it's just about getting the funding and the
Mm-hmm.
people together. Yeah, I mean, everybody is affected by those things, including us as the individuals who are turning on the game and pressing play
Yeah.
because we want to see more of their work, right? But I think it comes down to culture and nurturing, man. At the end of the day, for real.
I think you're right. That is one of the biggest issues that all these studios and all these really talented, artists is what they are. I mean, all these people putting this stuff together, it's no different than a band or, any other, you related it to sports teams and other things.
Yeah, man, 100%. It is a big deal. The other thing that's interesting too,
Mm
speaking on the team aspect and software and delivery and experience,
hmm.
I don't know what it is, and I'm just gonna jump right into it. Call of Duty for the Xbox app is way different for me in terms of performance than the Call of Duty on Steam. It plays better on Steam for me.
Oh, that's weird. What
Same
what could
settings.
that be?
I don't know, bro. I mean, we'll jump right into the Call of Duty. I love Call of Duty. Don't get me wrong. Like,
Okay.
every year, thanks to Activision, they've allowed me to, get a code and play it and stuff like that. So thank you. Shout outs to them for that. But every Call of Duty in the last, I would say, mm, 4 years, the last 4 years, the Steam version of that same title has always played. Well, I shouldn't say the last 4 years. I have to say, whenever they started introducing Call of Duty on the Game Pass, that's what, last 2, 3 years?
Yeah.
Maybe 2, 3 years. Let's just say 2, 3 years to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
safe. Every time I played on the Xbox app, horrible. Every time I played on Steam,
Hmm.
fantastic. Same settings. Okay. I don't know
I wonder
why
if
that
there's some
is.
sort of like server or like some
I
sort of
don't
like
know.
verification or like the DRM stuff that might have to go through as well. Maybe it's different on one or the other. That
Could
is
be.
weird. Or there's like
It
some sort of
is.
Xbox hardware or software thing that's happening that makes it weird because when
Yeah.
you're playing it on
And
Steam, you're bypassing Xbox's infrastructure.
I don't know, bro. And but the thing is, it has
Hmm.
nothing to do with the game. The gameplay is great when it's playing. You know what I'm saying? So I
Interesting.
like the energy and the fast paced nature of Call of Duty, and we've enjoyed that over the years. And the new
Oh
one
yeah.
is, taking it to another level for sure. So I'm having fun with the game. So that's that. But that aspect of rendering the game to figure out why, I lose so many frames when I'm running it through the Xbox app versus Steam, I don't know. It's night and day better as an experience, and the game is really good. So if you have not checked it out yet, and you have the Xbox Game Pass, you're either playing it now or you're going to play it later. Call of Duty Black Ops 7 is out now, and I'm going to be playing it on Steam for sure moving forward.
Awesome.
It's good stuff, man. Good stuff. Are you thinking about Call of Duty or where you're at with that?
I'm just curious. I'm not on Game Pass because I was a little upset about the price going up, so I'm on the lowest tier just so I can play online with other players. Like that's the bar I'm at right now. So I don't think I have access to Call of Duty unless you're on one of the higher tiers of Game Pass.
So I have a question for you. So that's still a thing. If you don't have Game Pass, you can't play online?
I I I think Call of Duty is like this. Yeah. Like Game Pass in general has replaced Xbox Live. So the lowest tier
Wow.
of Game Pass is like $9.99, and
Okay.
that just gives you like base online features and I think like maybe 50 games that are accessible. But like
Okay.
Call of Duty is Xbox's exclusion that is only available on the upper tiers.
Of
Um,
course.
which makes sense. I'm not mad. That's a total
Yeah, it's a business,
marketing move,
man.
and but like
Absolutely.
$30 a month to me was like that's not affordable. And you stack that on top of every other streaming service that I'm giving, 10, 15, $20 a month. We're already overflowing here. But yeah, it looks like the okay, I get benefits on Call of Duty Warzone, but
Okay.
yeah, it looks like you probably have to be Ultimate or Premium if you want Call of Duty Day One.
Okay. That's interesting. The other thing too is I know a lot of folks say, "Hey, this game is huge. You need almost 300, 400 gigs to install it." One of the things I did today was to make sure that the only Call of Duty that I'm playing right now is the multiplayer version of Black Ops 7. So that's only like 72 gigs. So my installation for
Mm-hmm.
Call of Duty right now is only 72 plus gigs because
Okay.
that's the only thing I don't play Warzone. I
Yeah,
don't
so you
really play
just
campaign.
uninstall that portion, right? Like you say, no
100%.
campaign, no
I
Warzone.
uninstall 100%. So I uninstalled all those things and all I have right now is the multiplayer for I don't even have the zombies. I
Oh,
just
is
have the
is
standard
zombies
multiplayer.
separate of all of
I think
those
zombies is
things?
separate.
It's its
Yep.
own mode. Okay,
Yep. So
interesting.
I unchecked all the boxes, so all I have is the multiplayer for Black Ops 7, and it runs great. If you
Oh, that's
love, and
glorious.
I'll say it this way: if you love Call of Duty, you're going to love Black Ops 7. If you're still on the fence, I love the game. I'm just letting you know that when I play it on the Xbox app, which I won't anymore,
Mm-hmm.
it's not as smooth as it is on
Oh no.
Steam for me. Now I'm just saying, I'm just being fair. There's nothing wrong with the game.
Oh.
Could be my system, struggling. That's fair. But if that's the case, then it shouldn't play, good on either platform. If that's the case, right? If my system was struggling to run it,
Mm-hmm.
it would be the same on the Xbox app and on Steam. But it only happens when I play it on the Xbox app. I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm just telling you my experience. So moving forward, I'm only going to be playing the game on Steam. And the other thing too, talk about
Uh-huh.
what we were saying before about being excited about things coming, soon and stuff like that. Bro, I think that I'm going to make the move to get the Steam machine, bro. I'm excited for
Oh, you
that.
gonna do it? Day one?
I
You're
think
gonna
I'm
be
going to
one of
do
those
it.
guys?
Not day one,
Maybe not day
but
one.
I'm going to do it. But
It
I'm going to
depends
do it.
on that price, man. That might really
Yeah.
be an earthquake. But if it's reasonable, I could see adopting it as well. Because I think anything that takes the pressure off the PC and lets me,
Yep.
then I can. That's why I've kind of lowered myself. I don't mean that offensively, but like I've gone back to playing console games more often is because
Okay.
like I can multi-stream. I can be on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, wherever I want to be, and I can be making short vertical clips like as I'm playing. I can just push a button and have those moments clipped so that I can grow my channel and promote things well. So I mean, I think that's a powerful tool. But yeah, when there's games like this where your PC just runs it really well, you might be totally safe. Let me ask you this about Call of Duty: do you like the futuristic weaponry and I guess is the traversal any different from Black Ops 6? Like, how do you feel about all that? Because I know this is like a totally separate genre from like Modern Warfare or from the World War II stuff.
Yeah, it feels very very familiar.
Mm.
In terms of the way it plays right now. You jump on the wall and then you jump off and stuff like that. I think that stuff is cool. The sliding is always going to be a thing. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's what makes Call of Duty, the quote unquote twitchy experience, great with Call of Duty. So I kind of like where they are now. I
Mm-hmm.
don't really think that when it comes to futuristic stuff, I just love the core experience of games, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I know for maybe a few years back, we were talking about the verticality thing, and we kind of made a joke about it, for an extended period of time,
There's
right?
so much verticality, honestly.
Yeah.
In
After a while,
Assassin's
I was
Creed,
like,
we try to make the buildings as tall as possible so that you
exactly,
can jump from building to building and grab the ledge. Yeah.
exactly. So for me, it's really always about what is that feeling
Mm-hmm.
where I'm coming around a corner, I see you, you see me, and what is that interaction like?
Mm.
Okay. So it could be World War, it could be futuristic, minus dogs. Leave the dogs out of
No
it.
dogs.
Okay. No dogs. No dogs. What is that? Is that feeling still visceral? Do I still get a little anxiety to know if am I shooting first? Is he aiming? Is she aiming on point? Is she taking me out or is he taking me out first? Like that feeling of Call of Duty with the 1v1 experience.
Mm-hmm.
If I throw a grenade, are they still in that spot? Will the grenade ignite or
Mm-hmm.
or whatever explode fast enough? That feeling, it could be World War, it could be no war, it could be
No war.
whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Call of
Like
Duty, friends.
exactly. As long as that feeling is preserved, which it has been over every single version, in my opinion, of Call of Duty,
Yeah.
that intensity, on the combat 2v2, 3v3, 1v1, or whatever, as long as that's there in any type of game that we're doing PvP, I think they'll be fine. And of course, the multiplayer is good where they, what do you call it? They match make if someone drops, they quickly match make somebody else in there. Like so it's
Mm-hmm.
not 5 versus 6 or whatever it is. I think as long as they preserve those things as core systems, whether it's Call of Duty, Destiny, or any other shooter that we play, I think they're on safe ground. So it doesn't matter what era it is for me, as long as that experience is preserved.
Well, I guess what you're talking about is like the feel of it. Because
Correct.
we talk
Correct.
about Bungie and Destiny and how it's sort of the evolution of Halo, and we're like, dude, we just log on because we like the way it feels to navigate the world and shoot the things. It's not
Right.
necessarily about what guns we're using or what time period it is. And if this Call of Duty continues to evolve and have that feel that we love when we load into a match, then I guess that's exactly what we want.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. That's where we are with Call of Duty.
Mm.
They're doing a great job still, many, many years in. And it's still exciting to play. Music is good. Some of our favorite maps are back. Hijacked is back, which is nice. We're back on a boat, which I like a lot. So there's a lot of exciting things, for Call of Duty. And I'm really going to download this Where Winds Meet, like literally in the next probably 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
I want to
Same.
see what that looks like because there's a lot of stuff going on in there. But final thoughts for you today, man?
It looks gorgeous. I appreciate you having me on as I always do. I think we've had a really great conversation of giving people a couple different viewpoints and different ways to think about a lot of the topics we brought up, and I appreciate that.
No, I appreciate you, man. Where can they find you, man? We'll get out of here.
Well, you can find me on YouTube, Aaron Shack, AARONSHACK. And of course, I'm on all the other platforms, TikTok, YouTube, uh, Twitch, everywhere. Website is aaronshack.com as well, which, gives you everything, the merch store, the photography stuff, anything I'm doing. The podcast I do is the Shackcast, and we're continuing that. So thank you.
No, I appreciate you. Yeah, the show radio's on everywhere you listen to podcasts. Definitely check us out. Tell a friend, and we're everywhere. We'll see you next time. Take care.